Well, hello and welcome to Mogul Moments. I am your host, Camille Jamerson. We have an amazing show today. I know I say that every week, but today is really good. There are two phenomenal businesses and products that were birthed right in the middle of this pandemic that if you don't have one or the other, you need them both. I don't even know what to tell you. There's no way around it. That's exactly what it is. So while you have time, click like and click share so people on your page can see both of my guests that are coming up soon. I'll give you a minute to come on in the room and give you a minute to share this with your friends. So if you would do that now, click like and click share. If you're on YouTube, you can hit share link and share this to your Twitter page or your Facebook page, etc. If you are not following me on YouTube and you just happen to come across this video, make sure that you subscribe. I mean, seriously, like click the little button and subscribe. I'd love to have you as a follower. And then you'll get a notification every single time that we drop a Mogul Moments episode, a Mogul Minute episode, or our summer show, which I will tell you about at the end of this one. So we're going to jump right in today because I really am anxious to start asking questions of our guests. We have two amazing women that I happen to know personally, both of them personally, and their story and their journey is just going to blow you away as far as how they became entrepreneurs and what led them to the innovative things that they've created in the midst of this pandemic and their amazing success with it. So would you guys put your hands together and help me welcome Katrina Mitchell and Ebony Bennett. Clap, clap, clap. Are you guys clapping? I'm needing people to clap. Yay! Hello. And those of you who've been watching Mogul Moments for a minute, I should say, have seen Katrina before. Katrina was in probably all my seasons. She's my business bestie and on my board. And I mention her a lot in my videos because usually when I'm doing something I don't have no business doing, I usually mention her. So when I say Katrina, this is who I'm talking about. So I want to welcome her back to Mogul Moments. And for the first time, I want to welcome Ebony Bennett. This is her first trip to Mogul Moments, and I'm hoping it won't be her last. I get the feeling not. With her creativity and her innovation, she's going to be creating things from here on out. And I can't wait to see where their businesses go. So we're going to start with the newbie. Ebony, would you please introduce yourself and give people just a little bit about what you were able to create in the name of your business?
Okay, so my name's Ebony Bennett, and I have a business. It's called SleepinStyle Party Rentals, and we just offer luxury sleepovers for everyone.
Love. Look, how innovative was that, right? Sleepovers. And because, I mean, kids still wanted to have sleepovers and stuff. And I know that probably didn't feel safe at the time.
So we do, but we also do date nights. And it's not just limited to kids. I offer sleepovers for adults as well. So for everyone.
And you guys, hopefully I'm dropping pictures in right now so you guys can see these tents. She's not just talking about some little pop-up. These things are themed and they've got color schemes and you get treats, but she'll tell you all about that as we get going. Katrina, tell me about what you have come up with.
Well, I am Katrina Mitchell and I am the owner of Fundamental Spa and the curator of the Peace and Beauty Box, which is a self-care wellness lifestyle experience in a box.
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. And if you did not see my review on the Peace and Beauty Box, I'm going to include that link in the comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll include it in the information box just so you can click it and you'll be able to see my full review. And if you don't want to know what's in the box, don't watch it because I tell everything. But yeah, so you'll be more than welcome to do that. So ladies, we're going to just dive into your journey. Both of your products are amazing, but if you could tell me a little bit about what led you to doing this for Katrina, this part of your business, and for Ebony coming up with this idea? Describe your decision making process to getting to there? What did that look like? Whoever wants to start first.
I can go first.
Mhm.
I am a mom of 4 girls, and I absolutely enjoy party planning. When it's birthday season in my home, it's a big, big thing. Well, this year I was like, I'm not doing anything. My daughter's turning 9. It's okay. We'll be fine. But as we got into the pandemic, I started to feel bad because the kids weren't in school. They didn't have their friends to interact with. And I was like, I got to do something for my daughter for her birthday. And I had seen these sleepover tents everywhere else, like in other states and other places. And I tried to contact a few companies and no one was available because, of course, it was a pandemic and they just didn't have an opportunity to set up. So my husband, he's a carpenter. And I was like, can you please build me these tents? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I can pay this amount of money or you can build them. And I was like, look, I could use this for something else, And he was like, yeah, I heard that before, Ebony. I don't know. And I was like, just, so he ended up building the tents. And we had the party. I think I had 6 girls or 5 girls, and it was just her family. And I posted a picture of it, and I did not have any intentions of birthing a business at all. From this, I was just doing what I love to do, which is plan parties for my kids. And the following week, my 5-year-old, she was like, Mom, I want a party just like this. And I was like, okay, see, I told my husband I was going to use them again. So I was able to do a party again the following week. And I posted this party, a totally different theme. And when I posted that party, I had so many people inboxing me like, could you do this? Who did your tents? Who did this? Who did this? And that was December. And it took me a while to actually jump out there. And I know we're probably going to get into that, but I kind of struggled because I felt like it was other companies already out there. They weren't in Michigan, but they already existed. And sometimes I don't like doing what other people do. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. But God told me to go for it. And that's exactly what I did and jumped out of there. And I've been swimming ever since.
I love it. I love it. Katrina?
So my box is a self-care subscription box. So every month you receive a self-care experience in your home. And this has been an idea that I had probably for the last 7 or 8 years, even before people were doing subscription boxes. I had a desire to bring the items that we use in the spa into people's homes. So it's been on the back burner. It's been something I've always wanted to do. And I love putting together gifts in general. And so about a year ago, so during the pandemic, when everybody was looking for something to do, a way to give back, I decided to do self-care boxes for nurses. And so I gathered all of my entrepreneurial friends and had people make donations. And I pulled together these boxes for nurses, and we donated them to a nursing home. And then people began to reach out to me asking me how much the boxes were. And I said, they're free. I donated them. And they're like, well, how can I get a box? And then the light bulb went off. Like, wait a minute, people want to pay you for these boxes. Mm-hmm. So I took a step back because I didn't quite know how to execute it in a way where it would be easy, where I could curate the items that I wanted. And it was important for me to represent small businesses inside the box. I didn't want to go to big box retailers. I wanted to give an opportunity to expose small entrepreneurs like myself who need an opportunity to get their products in the marketplace. So I needed to step back and do some research and figure out the best way to execute it. And so from May to almost May, so it was May to May. So May to April-ish, I did my research. I worked on it and actually launched it in 2 weeks. I just said, okay, now is the time. Now I pulled it all together in a couple of weeks. and created this amazing experience that really has touched lives all around the country. I did not expect that at all. I was telling Camille I had very low expectations because you just never really know if your idea is going to take off, kind of like Ebony said, like, I'll try it. And the next thing you know, people are loving it. So I'm so glad that I did it. It was one of those things where I knew that the timing would be right because it was Mother's Day and people were going to be giving gifts anyway. But what I didn't expect was the impact that it would have on me by pulling the trigger and doing, what God said for me to do in this season.
Now let's talk about that trigger part, because when you get to the place where you actually just forget it, I'm gonna do it, and all of us are, one thing that we definitely have in common, for those of you who are watching who don't know, we're all women of faith. So when you get that unction, to move, but then you've got all of these, I don't know about you guys, but for me, past failures or fears or, apprehensions. What will people think? You try to act like, those things are not a part of your thinking, but they are, to some degree. So tell me about some fears you may have had planning this, or apprehensions, or if you've had a past failure that kind of came up in your spirit, like, no, I don't know if I want to go through this again. Because if you've had a failed business or a failed project, there's nothing like that heartache. So you guys tell me what was kind of going through your head.
I know for me, I guess I would call myself a creative, but I have started a number of different things. And for me, it was the people that I may hear like, oh, well, what is Ebony doing this time? Or Ebony always is doing something else. And so for me, that was a struggle. But I'm able to kind of drown the noise when it comes to other people. I'm okay with that. My biggest thing for me was me. And so I struggled with being able to convince myself that this is what I'm called to do during this season. And it's okay. I also had to convince myself that although something like this may already exist, it's not you. And so I had to understand my POD. And that's the biggest thing that I keep pushing right now. You have a point of difference. Even if your product may look like the next person, I'm coming with something that's bigger and better. And that's the grace of God that's on my life. And so beyond offering them an experience where it's an event, my true passion was like, okay, I want to be able to go in these homes. I want to set up a lifetime experience that they'll be able to remember when it comes to a sleepover. But in the midst of that, I want to represent God. And I want them to ask me, what do you have? Why do you have so much joy? Like, what is it that makes
you different?
What makes you different? And so many occasions I've been able to set up and do what I love to do, which is create awesome events. But I've also been able to tell people about the goodness of God. And so that's been the biggest push for me, is that you got to continue to push your business and your ministry so you can tell people about God, because it's different. I'm going in a different avenue to share the goodness. I'm also going in a different avenue because I'm bringing something you want, which is an event of a lifetime.
Nice.
But I'm bringing joy. So for me, my biggest thing is me. And so I got to continue to talk to myself and let myself know that what you represent and what you have is different. Even if your product may look like the next person, it's nobody out there that's going to be able to offer you what Ebony is going to offer you.
That's good. That's good. Katrina?
I think my biggest fear, honestly, was, what if I buy all this stuff and don't nobody buy it? Like, how many kimonos? What am I going to do with the kimonos? Like, what?
There was some bomb kimonos, actually. But you're right.
If it doesn't sell, like, what happens? And am I going to spend money that, am I going to invest money in this and it not work?
Yeah.
And so once I get past that, because I have had past failures, I know how to plan, give contingency plans, backup plans for the backup plan, because I've been doing this long enough where I know how to tweak it, and I'm okay with failure. You know, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I learn from them all. So my biggest apprehension was I don't want to waste no money, because we all in the middle of the pandemic and money is not plentiful.
Right.
So that was probably my biggest hurdle. But this particular project was probably the most sweatless project I've ever done. Like everything fell into place in a way that it has never happened before. That's how I knew. I was like, God, this is way too easy. Like, when is the hard part going to come? Like,
yes.
What is happening? And I had so much fun putting the boxes together, and just the whole experience was it was magical. And I was like, okay, God, so this is going to get hard at some point, right? And he was like, I got you. And so,
okay, let me just stop you right there for just a second, because it just reminds me of something I was talking to my daughter about. Everything doesn't have to be hard.
I know, right?
Right? You know, right. And it's like, there's nothing valiant about struggling. I mean, there isn't. And we sometimes believe that if something isn't difficult or something isn't hard, then it isn't valuable. Lies. You know, that's not the space we come from. You know, we come from the space that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So if we're along the path that he's designed for us, then we coasting. And that's not to say we're not going to work, but that is to say that we expect the struggle bus every single time. And disappointed when it don't show up.
Right.
You know, which is just, when you said that, it just was like, dang, we often expect struggle and are shocked when it doesn't happen. Like, wait, that's it? We good? This is easy? Wow.
Right.
Wow. What? So how do you guys mentally, because like Ebony, you said your biggest issue was you. Katrina, you had apprehensions about, hey, what if I'm investing all of this and it doesn't work? So how did you guys mentally push past that? Is it self-talk? Is it being really apprehensive about talking about the business? So not that many people hear about it and it fails, you know, it's not a big deal because only my friends and family knew about it anyway. What does that look like?
So for me, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just went. Before I launched, I didn't talk about it with anybody. I actually did all of my branding on my own. I didn't even talk about it to my husband. When I had my logo and my website and everything, it was already done. And I just went out there and launched completely on my own. So I didn't need. I got past that talking, but once I started having successes and I started having people actually book, it was like, wow, I'm out there like legit, like seriously, like
a business.
Like I have a real business. And then you start getting, because the best advertisement that I have is word of mouth. Yep. And then you start getting people who aren't necessarily in your circle, but know of you, start advertising for you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, this is really serious that I have a real business and it's doing really well. And so I think I'm past that, but there are still some times every time I'm booking, I'm like, okay, what's your POD? What's your difference? What are you going to do? You know, so I'm still trying to go harder every event. I'm going a little bit more, because I don't want the same thing for each of my client. So I think that's it. Having the success has been one of the best things for me, where I have people book. And then actually I've been in a season, and this is where it's like, oh my God, this is really a business where I've had to tell people I'm booked. And I'm like, well, I could try to work something. I don't know. That's for me, that's unfamiliar territory. And so I feel like you're going to have to book early. You're going to have to book early.
In demand. You're in demand.
You're going to have to book early. And so I think that's for me has been been a success for me to just keep going. And I know, like you mentioned, it's work. Like I work my Fridays and Saturdays and my weekends are gone. But because I love what I'm doing, it doesn't even seem like work at times. Actually, oftentimes it doesn't seem like work. My husband, because he assists me, he's like, geez, I don't have any of my weekends anymore. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. For me, it's not work because I love doing this. And for him, it's like, oh, we got to work again. I don't know.
Like I love to tell you.
I'm loving this right now.
Great. So, Katrina, how do you get over the humps?
I get over the humps by having accountability. And accountability. That was key for me. And I made it public. I started teasing about the boxes probably December because I knew they were coming at some point. And so I teased in December, then I went quiet, and then they came back in maybe March, and I mentioned it again. And so when I got ready for May, people were like, oh, I thought I missed it. So people were waiting for me to launch these boxes. And so I told my accountability partners, do not let me quit. Because I knew that if I kept it low key and nobody knew but me and you, Camille, then it would be good. But once I put it in public, then people would know. So I had to have people who I knew would not let me drop the ball when I got afraid. And just afraid of my shortcomings, where what if I decide I wake up in the morning and I just don't want to do it just because it's Tuesday? So I needed somebody to say, hey, Katrina, it's Tuesday, get up and do what you need to do. So accountability was really important for me, and visibility. I needed to make sure that my audience knew that it was coming so they could hold me accountable as well.
That's good. Let me bring everybody back in. Because this is something that I really want both of you guys to get into. Because this is usually a big hang up for entrepreneurs, and that is pricing. Entrepreneurs struggle with pricing their product according to its value, for fear that it's too high or nobody's going to buy it at this price. So how did you determine the price of your product? And did you struggle with it? And did you pull back? Did you have those thoughts, oh, nobody's going to get it at this price? Should it be more?
Well, for me, I guess I've been studying the market for a while, not knowing that this is what I was really going to do. And honestly, I haven't. But now that I think about it, I guess God was really preparing me for it. And so I just kind of, I just kind of priced my product as what I would pay for it. And when I went back out there, I found out that, okay, maybe I'm a little off a little bit, but I'm just getting my foot out the door. And I want to offer quality work for an economical price. I know I have other business owners in my circle, and they're like, wait, you're not charging enough. You're not charging enough. And I'm like, no, I think I'm good. And so I believe right now, studying your market most definitely is very, very important. And then knowing what you offer. And so you don't want to price gouge and go up an extra $300, but know that it's okay if your price is a little bit more because you know what you're worth. And sometimes we share with others what our worth is. And I found out is if you're not willing to pay for my price, that's okay. There's somebody out there for
you. You're not my client. Yeah.
But I have a client that's willing to pay for what I'm going to offer. And I think that was the hard thing, knowing and realizing that people will really pay money for what they want.
Yeah. How about that?
And pay money for what they want. And actually pushing that I am a real business. So I have a contract that you need to sign. You need to read this. We need to have a meeting. We need consultation. We need to do all of those things because a lot of people, they're not used to that. And so I had a lot of pushback when I said, oh, well, you can book online. Here's where you can book. I would like for you to read my contract. Please read it. And I need your signature. I had a lot of pushback from people like that because they're like, oh, wait, I want to just send you a Cash App and can you show up this day? No, I'm sorry. I really need you to read my contract because when something doesn't go the way, I want you to know exactly what you're getting per my contract.
Said Cash App, though. I just want to reiterate that part. I'm sorry. Ma'am. They said they just gonna Cash App you and they gonna let you into their house and set up something without signing any. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we a lot of us do that.
Bless our hearts. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure y'all heard that. So if you out there running a business on Cash App, I wish you would. You better not let Camille find out about it. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Okay, Ebony, I'm sorry. Lord have mercy.
So that's my biggest pushback. It's not my pricing. It's we don't like
doing
to read
things in order.
Yeah, we don't like to read. We don't want to sign a contract. We don't want to understand what you offer. You just passing out your money, and that's okay.
If
that's what you like,
right?
So that was my biggest pushback, and knowing your worth. Like I tell you what I'm worth, and you're gonna get over and above if you book with me because I'm gonna make sure that all of my clients is like my family. I'm preparing a party just like I'm preparing a party for one of my kids. And so you're going to get above and beyond, but I know my product and I know that I'm giving you something that's of worth.
Nice. Katrina, let's talk about pricing.
Well, Camille, why are you looking like that?
I'm sorry. Can you see my face?
Yeah, we
can see me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So Camille's leaning in because she was my pricing accountability person. And so I think I started at a lower price, and by the time I got done talking to Camille, it was $30 more than what I started with.
This is true.
Yes, and so for me, I wanted to bring value, but I also wanted to be competitive, and I had to realize that what I am personally curating, I'm a beast when it comes to curation.
You are.
Like, this is what I do. So when it comes to pulling together experiences and imagery and brand, that's my sweet spot. And so that requires a higher ticket price based on the value that I bring to the table. And I had to be reminded of that through Camille.
Several times. You want to see the text? No?
Okay. No, that's not necessary.
Because I'm going to screenshot and put it on the screen so y'all.
Right. Yeah, I just had to recall who I am as a personal brand, as a business entity, and the years of experience that I bring to the table as a person. And my brand has been in the marketplace for 20 years. So I didn't just wake up yesterday and decide I was going to do a box, So we have pioneered the self-care industry in the city of Detroit. So bringing all that to the table, not with a haughty spirit or being prideful, but just really understanding the value of it, that reputation carries, which I believe is why the boxes did so well, is because of the value that the brand had already established. And I was willing to discount that because I was afraid that people wouldn't pay. And so now I understand that, like Ebony said, people will pay for what they want. And I've always known that. But
you told me that.
Yeah, okay. There's 3 of us here and it's being paid. Can we take this part out?
Oh yeah, I mean we can take it. We can take it out. I'll take it out.
Yeah. So having understanding my personal value and understanding that people will definitely pay for what they want, and you can't shop from your perspective. Like, I don't know what you have in your wallet.
Exactly.
And so if I say, oh, this box is $100 and you were prepared to pay $1,000, then, I'm missing out on $900 because I'm thinking it's just worth $100, So understanding that though we have a perspective of the marketplace and have a perspective of what we think a person would pay based on the industry standard, the fact of the matter is that your level of expertise and who you are as a brand can definitely increase the value in the marketplace. And so that was what I had to understand about what I'm offering, and understanding that it's just not stuff in a box. Mm-hmm. When I compared what I was offering to other brands, I was like, how are they getting away with putting this trash in a box? Mm-hmm. And you send it to somebody's home every month? Oh, I'm about to blow this out the water. Just the sheer fact of who I am, and so that drove me to really see the value of what I was bringing to the marketplace, as well as not being afraid to charge for it, because I knew that I was going to bring something special to the people who bought the box and who experienced the product. So I felt good about charging once I really sat down and said, okay, this is how much you're spending. Like, you're not putting $3 items in the box.
Right.
So in order to even make any money on this box, you got to be over here with the pricing, so it actually makes sense. So that drove the price up to begin with. Then I realized, well, do you want this to be a labor of love, or you want to make some money? So that drove the price up some more. Then I spoke to my target market, Camille, and I said, hey, how much would you pay? Would you pay? And Camille was like, I would pay this. And I still went under what she said that she would pay, because my brain was like, ain't nobody gonna pay that, Camille. Mm-hmm. So what happened was I set a lower price for the monthly, and I put the price that Camille said people would pay as the high ticket, mm-hmm. and people bought more of the high ticket.
Of course they did. Right.
I mean, because Camille is a mogul maker. I know.
That's what I do.
I mean, that's what you do, and that's why I call. But that don't mean I'm gonna listen and do what you say.
No, it doesn't.
You're professional and all. I mean, right. Why would I do that? Why? And then listen to the professional. Who does
that? Something came to mind when you guys were talking about price, and it's true in both cases because of how we shop. Sometimes most of the times we equate value with price.
Right. Yes.
So if something was too cheap, then you would wonder, oh, these probably some little pop-up tents that fall down as soon as my kids get in there. Yes. Or, she about to throw some Wet n Wild in a box and send it to the house. Right. So I think, Katrina, in your case, your price also, it's good that you went to the higher price, because it also reflects positively, not just on your brand, but it also raises the level of everybody who's in the box. So every entrepreneur that's in the box, in order for them to be included in a box that costs that much, it says something about them. Absolutely. So you're not just pulling up your reputation, you're pulling up theirs as well. And the same thing with Ebony. It's like, if they're paying X amount of dollars for an X, and it's not just for a tent, it's for an experience.
Absolutely.
Like she said, a once in a lifetime type of experience, and something they can Instagram and brag about. And like she said, most of her business is from referral. It's like you don't get opportunities like that all the time. So when you do experience something like that, you don't mind paying a little extra for that, because it's not something you're going to do every week. It's for a special moment. It's for a special occasion. So that brings me to my next question. So when we resume some sense of normalcy, whatever that looks like, do you think that your business will maintain its level of success? Do you see a dip coming? Do you see some changes that you may have to make in order to maintain kind of your momentum?
So for me, I know I felt like I was going to have a huge dip in the summertime. My husband didn't feel that way, but I felt like, because I know that we're outside a little bit more, I really felt like I was going to take a dip. And so for me, I've already had to shift and pivot my business. So now I've offered, or I ventured out, instead of luxury tents for inside, I have tents that I offer that are now outside tents. So we can do camping or glamping outside. I've also shifted from just doing sleepover tents to now I do luxury picnics. So I'm going to offer you can do a sleepover tent where you have the look and the bohemian thing, but I can also offer you a luxury picnic. So I'm going to bring you the tables. I'm going to bring you the silverware. I'm going to set up your luxury picnic that's going to be like none other, because I knew that my business was going to have to take a quick shift because we're moving from more of an inside to outside. So now I have to offer more things that we can take from inside to outside. So I've already shifted. And I have more things that I'm offering besides the sleepover tent. Of course, we do date nights and we do girls events and things like that. But I have to take my things that I normally do that's in the inside and shift them outside. So we have big, huge tents. We have picnics, luxury picnics now. So, and I'm actually considering doing the movie theater. So now I can add the tents, the picnic, and a movie. So I can make that shift and keep myself marketable, because I don't want to take that dip.
I'm here for the movie theater.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
I know. Nice. I want to go glamping.
I know, I did too. As soon as we said that, I was like,
And so like, I know it's going to take a shift. And this is the key thing. Like, you have to know your market. You have to know your product. You have to know your business.
Right.
Again, I said my husband, he's a great help. He's a great entity, but this isn't his passion. This isn't what he does. So he's like, you're going to be fine. People are going to do sleepovers. No need to worry. No, you don't have to do all of that. Just let's maximize where you are. And I'm like, no, I know my business. I know my market. I know what I'm working with. And it's okay if we pivot. It's okay if we shift. If it's okay if we expand, if this is what we're going to do. And so even being a new business owner, it's okay if you have to make a pivot or a shift early on in your journey to stay marketable and to maximize what you can offer.
I love that. And I love that you're ahead of the game. You're already thinking about what your business is going to look like post-pandemic, whenever that is. Katrina, what are you thinking about?
I don't anticipate any shift in that particular manner. I'm believing that we will continue to grow with monthly members, and hopefully, by the end of, by December, we'll reach my goal. I wanted to have 100 subscribers by December, and just use this as a secondary stream of income for the spa. I believe that one day we will get back to a full service spa experience for those that want to come in and receive spa services. And the box will just be a complement to that. So they can subscribe for the box on a monthly basis and get those items that will enhance their experience at home until they can get back to us again in the following month. So I'm looking forward to just incorporating it into our day-to-day operations and offerings, and just increasing membership from that point.
Do you think that now, because you have this box, you have the opportunity now to reach people that you couldn't reach with the spa? Because
Absolutely.
It's not just local. So it may even expand your market. Well, I'm sure it already has expanded your market to. I still ain't been the fundamental spa yet for a massage, and I live right here, so that's trifling. But for those who don't live here, you still have an opportunity to reach an audience who doesn't even live here with the box, and take kind of the spa experience to them. I still think it's going to be a minute before people are just okay with full out massages and facials and all of that type of thing. So the fact that you can have a spa-like experience at home with some of the things that you offer, I think is phenomenal. I'm excited about my next box when it's coming. When is my next box? I'm ready.
It'll be there the first week in June.
Let's hit it. And if you want a box, y'all better get on it because my box is already coming. So, okay. So what is, and I ask this often to my guests, what is one thing about being a business owner or an entrepreneur that people misinterpret or get wrong or assume that's way off target? What do they assume about entrepreneurship or think about entrepreneurship that's way off target?
For me, I guess I know I said that I've had a couple businesses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. But this one is on a whole different level. Mm-hmm. And so it takes work. It's work. I mean, I'm an educator, so I have a full-time job, and I thought it was going to be like a breeze, but I literally get off of my job to clock into my business. It's work. And I know people say, yeah, it's work, but I enjoy it. But you think you're going to start a business or become an entrepreneur and you're not going to work? That's false, because I work really hard, just not even setting up events. It's the behind the scenes with the paperwork and the follow-up and the emails and the branding, and it's really work. I enjoy it, but it's work. And I don't want to say that it's hard, because it's not hard if you love it, but you really need to set specific time out to do what you need to do as it relates to your business, and making sure paperwork is in order and making sure everything that you need to be in order is done, to make sure your business is working effectively. So it's work.
So the thing that people misinterpret, they think it's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, they think it's easy. That, oh, that's nothing. You set your own hours. You can work when you want to. You're
gonna just get up and you're just gonna make money. No, you gotta make a schedule. You better make sure you're getting up at 8:00, maybe 6:00. You may even work a little bit harder. You used to getting up at 8. You may have to get up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. to make sure you're really doing what you need to do. So it is work.
Okay.
And it's gonna require you putting some time in.
That's good. Trina?
Well, that was going to be mine, so I'll have to take the second misconception, I guess. I think the thing that people get wrong is that you can make something out of nothing. Like, you don't have to spend any money to make money. You can DIY yourself to death. You can call your cousin Pookie to do your flyers. And
come on and preach now.
And that's sufficient. And they run their business. They like to call themselves CEOs, but they're technically are employees. And they're creating jobs for themselves instead of building businesses and building brands. And I think a lot of people go into a business thinking that, like Ebony said, it's going to be easy, but they also go into a business with no plan whatsoever. And in order to actually have a business that can sustain you and make you money, you have to have a strategic plan. And that plan may require you to step outside of your circle of your friends to get some help in order to grow and build your business. And so I think the second biggest misconception is, I can do this all by myself.
Yeah.
Yes, that is so true. Yeah.
One more thing, that if I can piggyback, I think that was amazing advice. Another thing that becoming a business owner, a lot of times, and not saying that my family doesn't support me, but the people that you may expect to do business with you may not be the people that are actually doing business with you. So as an entrepreneur, you may think like, oh, I know I'm going to be okay because my family is going to support, and I know that they're going to do this, and I know they're going to do that. No, that may not be the case. And so in addition to making sure you may have to step out your little circle to make sure you branding your business the proper way, making sure you're investing your money, because it may cost you a little bit to do what you need to do to get your business up and running. Also know that the people who you may expect to do business with you may not be your customer, and that's okay.
I tell people all the time that your family is not your client. they support you because they love you, but don't think that's not their job. Their job is to be your husband or sister or brother or cousin or whatever, but that your family is not your client. Now, my family leans on my expertise, and that's okay, because they're my family, and I'm gonna take care of my people. But I don't expect them to be my client base. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs make that assumption that you mentioned, Ebony, that I'm gonna be good because I got my cousins and I got my no. They I mean, they're gonna support you, they're gonna lift you up, but don't get it twisted. Don't invoice them though, because that's not gonna work out for your good. And having that expectation can cause disappointment. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. I got another good question. Now I got to find it because I put a star by it so I would come back to it. Oh, okay. So entrepreneurs are trying to figure out now whether saving their business is even worth it right now. Because it's a lot. I mean, real talk, it's a lot. So they're trying to figure out, okay, do I pivot this business? Do I just go back to a 9-to-5? Do I just scrap the whole thing altogether? And I know every story is different, but if you have faced any of those types of questions, I'd like to know kind of how you got from A to Z. And I know it's hard because, I mean, and Katrina is a witness, I quit every day. I'm sure at least every other day, bare minimum. But working yourself through that is a process. So the days that you're ready, just like, okay, this is it. That's the last tent I'm putting up. I'm done. Or okay, these boxes are wearing me out. Or if it was for a previous project and you got to the place where you were thinking that, I don't know. I think I'm good on this. I don't think it's worth it. How did you work through that? What did that look like? Either one of you.
Well, I can't speak on this business because I think I'm doing fairly well, but I did, like I said, dabble in a couple of different things. And I think for me was I really had to be honest with myself and see if this is what I really wanted to do. Was I doing this just because I wanted extra funds, or was I really passionate about this? Mm-hmm. And when I was able to answer that question and realize that failure doesn't mean that you messed up. Failure is often a life learned lesson. Mm-hmm. I was able to pull out of certain things that just had me spinning my wheels because I really wasn't passionate about it. Mm-hmm. I was doing it because I felt like this would be good and it would make me extra money along the way. And so it was easy for me to pull out of it because I wasn't passionate about it. I was making money, but I really wasn't that passionate about it. And so I pulled out about it and I actually was honest with it. I learned from there. And I think that's why I am at a place with my new business where I'm comfortable, where I'm passionate about it. And I don't care if 5 other businesses around me start up that's doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm okay with what I'm doing. And I'm passionate about the business that I created and that I'm called to right now. And so for me, I think the question is you got to be real with yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you find out you're not passionate about something anymore and it's weighing on you and the stress is on you, maybe it may be a season where you may just have to pull out for a moment. Doesn't mean that you don't have to go back and revisit it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that you failed in the process. I just think you have to answer the question yourself, not what everybody else think, what you actually think.
That's good. Trina?
So repeat the question. The question was...
Yeah, we were talking about really making the decision to quit or go forward. If you've gotten into a place where you had to make that hard call, like, I don't know if I'm going to continue this business, I'm ready to quit. Like I said, we quit every week, but I mean, like, quit. Just kind of speak to how you work through that and how you make the determination, whether to let something go or whether to push forward.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm an expert quitter. I've been a entrepreneur for, this will be my 12th year, and I quit pretty much every year. And for me, I had to realize that usually I'm at the point of quitting or giving up is because I have hit some type of roadblock, or some area that is making me uncomfortable. And the natural reaction is to flee, is to quit, because and so I have to step back and say, okay, well, why is this not working? Why am I bumping my head? Why is this uncomfortable? And then what is the solution to make me more comfortable? What is the solution to move me past this place of discomfort, of angst, of uncertainty? And I find a solution in that area. If I cannot, then I make the determination of, what's plan B? Because quitting really is not an option for me, because again, I've tried multiple times and apparently I can't do it right. So that's not really the move for me. I do believe that passion takes you a long way, but I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a business owner. So I can have several different entities. I can own a Taco Bell and not be passionate about tacos. So passion will only take you so far. It's really your drive, your determination for your purpose. And so I realized that I was born to be an entrepreneur. And so whether it's the spa, whether it's my coaching business, there's my gifting in the earth and it will not stop. So I have to make the adjustments that are necessary to move forward in my purpose. And so for me, I think just, again, stepping back, examining where I am in the process and saying, okay, God, well, what are you trying to say to me in this season? What do I need to tweak or change so I can grow? Because usually it's that level of pressure where God is trying to take you to another level and you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to keep doing the same thing over and over again because it's comfortable over here, God. And he's like, no, I need you over there. That's why the friction is happening, because you're spinning your wheels in a place. And I've told you enough right here at this level. I need you somewhere else. And that seems to be my pattern, where when I'm frustrated, God is saying, okay, you done mastered this level. Now go over here and do this. But I like to keep it what I feel like is simple and comfortable. And I realize that I like to say that your comfort zone sometimes can smother you, and you're dying in your comfort zone. So for me, I have to consistently put the pressure on myself to get out of that area where I'm comfortable and keep moving forward. And that keeps me from quitting, quitting that thing, because I can't quit on my purpose or my destiny. That's not an option for me.
That is awesome. One thing that both of you alluded to, that I think is kind of an underlying theme, is both of you talked about seasons. And one thing I want to say to the entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs that are watching, that, and Ebony said it when she first started talking about her business, that it's the business that she's doing for this season. So understand that the business that you're doing right now may evolve or shift into something else totally different. What you're doing now may not be what you're doing for the rest of your life. So first of all, don't get attached to it. But secondly, be willing to be open enough to grow with it. And so don't get stuck in the season. And that's the leads me to the point that Katrina was making about staying in comfort zones. If you've mastered a level, you can't keep playing at level 52. If you've mastered it, the game is going to send you to the next level. But you keep wanting to go back to level 52 because you know every bump and dump and hip and where to drop the ball and what you know every part of that particular game, but you're not progressing. So be willing to grow and move and shift in your season. So, ladies, those were the hard questions. And oh my gosh, we're at 55 minutes already. Easy question. Books. I always ask people to recommend a book, or if there's a podcast or audible book that you're listening to that you would highly recommend, please share it with our viewers.
Well, like I said, I've been really busy with everything that's going on. But actually, a book that's really been encouraging me, especially during the season of my life, and since we've been in the midst of a pandemic, it was a devotion book. It's called Joyful Journey. It's by Ebony Bennett. And honestly, the book has really blessed me because it's quick and it's inspirational, and it's like, you can do it. You can do it, no matter what you may be experiencing, especially during this season with the new business and a new baby. I need to understand that this journey that I'm on is a joyful one. May not look like it, but it still is.
And I love that you said a devotional, because sometimes we think we need to get face down with chapters and chapters and chapters, or read several books at the same time like me. But no, you don't necessarily have to do that. Sometimes just that quick connect point in the morning will set your day on target. And I happen to know that author, and I bet that book is fire. So we'll definitely get that link where people can still get it. Can people still buy? Okay, good. We'll get that link and make sure that we add it so you guys can check that out. Trina, what you reading?
I am not reading anything right now either, because I've been busy making boxes. However, my go-to book is The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. That really transformed me. I mean, we know that Shonda Rhimes is the epitome of mogul magic.
Yes.
And just to see a woman who, again, was stuck in her comfort zone, saying no to everything, and then took the time to do some self-reflection based on her sister being in her ear saying, you say no to everything.
Everything.
Maybe I do, and so, and looking at the opportunities that opened up for her because she decided to say yes. And so that book I comes highly recommended. That's one of my favorite books.
Awesome. Well, great, ladies. Before we close out, I want each of you to tell people where they can find you online and how to connect with you. And we will definitely make certain that we put all of that in the chat. If you have questions or comments for these ladies, hopefully you're dropping them in the chat, because we've taped this, so they're in there live with me, hopefully, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you have. If not, I'll make certain that I get the questions to them so they can follow up with you if you're interested in either of their products. So, Ebony, where can people find you and get a tent?
Yes, you can find me at SleepinStylePartyRentals.com. It's the best way to contact me if you want to look at tents and you're not familiar with websites per se. The kids and everybody love Instagram. You can follow me at SleepinStyle Party Rentals on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. I would definitely encourage you guys to take a look at those tents. It's going to encourage you to want one. I mean, flat out. Okay, Katrina, where can people find you?
I can be found at thepeaceandbeautybox.com for my boxes, or you can go to fundamentalspa.com, and there is a link to the Peace and Beauty Box there. We're also on Instagram at Fundamental Spa, and if you want to follow me personally, I am on Instagram and Facebook at Katrina Michelle with one L.
Yes, that is correct. I was about to say with one what? One L. I'm so used to typing it that I don't even pay attention anymore. Well, ladies, thank you both so much. I knew this show was going to be chock full of information, and it did not disappoint. If you guys will stay in the studio for just a minute, I'm going to close out the show, and then I'll be right back with you both. All right? Awesome. Was that amazing? I told you guys the show was going to be good. both Katrina and Ebony both have amazing products. I personally have the Peace and Beauty box. I got the inaugural box and I'm waiting on my second one. I have not tried a tint yet, but my sister has been raving about them and and that's how I got Ebony on the show. And I know Ebony personally. So when I went on and when you see the pictures, you'll see for yourself. So if you are local in the Detroit metro area and you're looking for an amazing experience, you definitely want to check her out. With the Peace and Beauty box, you can be anywhere. We've got friends in Florida that's getting boxes everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed these two entrepreneurs and aspiring moguls. I know I did. Hopefully they said something or encouraged you or motivated you in a way to really keep pushing with your business, or come up with an idea that pivots your business a little bit to the left and encourages you to keep going. So we will be on probably next week. I don't know. It depends on when this show airs, because we will be off for a week because of Memorial Day. We'll be off that whole week. So I won't be taping that week. So we might miss a week in there, but we'll be right back. And then we'll have, I think, 2 or 3 more shows this season. And then we will be wrapping this season of Mogul Moments. Coming this summer, though, we have a show called Life at the Half coming. And it's going to be a show about Gen Xers like me who are living their life at the half. And we're going to be talking about some things to help catapult them into living the second half of their life at a much higher level than they did at the first. Because with a lot of us, we have lived a lot more life than we have left to live. So we want to make certain that we take advantage of the time that we have left and elevate our thoughts and our minds towards living. Because if this pandemic hasn't taught us anything else, is that life is precious, and we want to make certain that we are enjoying it to the fullest. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure having you again. I am Camille Jamerson, your host for Mogul Moments. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you hit that little red button. If you're on YouTube, if you're not following me, go to Facebook and follow me right now, and you'll get notified for the next episode. Talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.